Hello, my name is Jake Buxton, and this is my English 111 Persuasive Speech. I apologize in advance. I will be taking brief sips of water to help with a cough that I have to make the speech clearer. Sheldon Jackson College was not only a place to learn, it was a center for the community. For over 100 years, it stood as a place of knowledge within Sitka. But as of the summer of 2007, that has ceased to be true. As a member of the community, I feel it is an important duty that we not only honor the lives of those who came before us, but to improve our own as well. And I believe that we can do that with the Sheldon Jackson campus. Sheldon Jackson campus got into debt. It now owes $6 million. As of 2007, it owed $6 million. Its plan to counter this debt was to terminate all functions for a year. And within that year, they were looking for a buyer. However, this didn't happen. It did happen, they just couldn't find a buyer. There was nobody that they could find to buy the campus itself. Now the entire campus is held as collateral. It was an important place for, it has huge historical value and wasn't just a place to learn. It had people such as Elizabeth Peradovich went there, who has extreme value to Alaskan history, not only Native Alaskan and Native American, but to the state. Scott McAdams went there as well, who was our mayor for 2 years and recently ran for Senate. It had a library which was offered to the public, which is now no longer available. Then that's all on top of being a college, which was a post-secondary education college, and that's no longer available. It was a center for the community. It was a place where really anybody could go. There was, like many of the schools in our community, you can go there for various activities. An example being the high school has several sports festivals and matches. There's basketball, there's football, there's a new soccer team. Both the middle school and high school have music. There's nothing like that can happen at SJ because it's not open. There used to be a kind of running deal between the Trooper Academy and the campus cafeteria. The troopers used to go to the cafeteria for their evening meals, which can no longer happen. Now they have to go into town instead of just walking down the street. They have to go downtown, which is a bigger walk, but really the problem is it costs more money, the meals. The meals they could get from the cafeteria were not very expensive. The biggest part, perhaps, apart from the library, which was once offered to the public, is the Hames Center, which is really the only gym in Sitka. And that's pretty important because there's nowhere else anybody can go for the kind of equipment that Hames has. The only gym that's worth mentioning in Sitka is the Coast Guard gym, which isn't available to the public at all. Hames is really the only gym within Sitka that was not only usable, but was fully stocked with equipment. It can't be used. It's flickered between being open and closed, and this last year they've been kind of doing a trial run with seeing how many people they could get to go to it. But I'd really like to see a more permanent solution. I'll be coming back to this subject later on in the speech. Excuse me, I apologize. Sheldon Jackson campus is now a place where underage uh, teenagers, mostly, go to try out things that they normally couldn't. And what I'm referring to is tobacco and alcohol. These are already major problems within the community, and it's compounded by the fact that SJ campus is wooded. It's surrounded by a forest, and it's easy to just go into a bush and to drink or smoke or do really whatever you want back there. And there's nobody that cares to look back there. And that has caused sort of another problem with the campus, and that would be garbage. There's garbage everywhere on that campus. And it's not only caused by those underage drug users, but it's also caused by the disrepair of the buildings. There's roofing tile and other nails, wood, splinters that can be found all over the place, especially close to the buildings. But it gets everywhere. It gets in the streams, and it gets all over the place. Personally, I have worked around the Sheldon Jackson campus ever since I got here in 2007. When I got here in 2007, that's the year it was closed. I never got to go to that library. But I can tell you that having a library in Sitka is an important thing, because as I've been in all throughout this country, libraries in the lower 48 states, you really can't compare libraries in Alaska to them, because they're so much bigger. They have such a bigger stock. It's difficult to find what you're looking for in a library within Southeast, and that is added to the problem of there not really being much of a library that's available to the public. It's really available to students, middle schoolers and high school students, which I'm no longer a high school student, so I don't have access to the high school library. I have to go to the library, ask for if they have a book, and then I have to wait a few days to have that book pulled from wherever it's sitting, basically within the library system. I've worked with organizations and with people in Sitka that they rely on Sheldon Jackson. I've worked with the community schools. I've worked with SCORE, which stands for Summer Camping, Outdoor Recreation, and Education. And what that is we teach kids to clean up the community. And we would go and, I'm saying and too much, I apologize. We would go and we'd clean up garbage. We would cut branches. We'd weed. We can clear trails. We did all sorts of things. The Alaska Native elders, we would take salmon berries to them. And one year we really tried to clean up Sheldon Jackson campus. And I'd say we succeeded. There was a man from Seattle there who said he was interested in maybe buying the campus. It never happened. I don't feel it was the fault of our cleaning, or it was in no part a fault of those kids who did an excellent job. It's really a part of the bigger problem of how we're going to fix it. And the main idea in people's minds is to find a buyer, which I don't see as happening. It doesn't seem like it's going to work. The other idea that they've proposed is to, on top of finding a buyer, is to reopen with higher prices to coax people into paying for for paying for something more that's already in trouble. That doesn't seem like it's going to help at all. That seems like it's going to really increase the problems that campus already has sustained. My personal idea is to really not find a buyer right now, and not to raise prices, definitely, but to just open up certain aspects of the campus. The main part would be the Hames Center. It's the only gym in Sitka. It's the only part of our community that we can go to exercise. The pool is invaluable as a training area for swimming, which is a huge part in Alaska. All the kids here are required to take a test that proves that they can swim well in water, and that is helped by the Hames Center being open. It's flickered between being off and on. The past year, the assembly, our local assembly, has tried a sort of trial run where they'd see how many people they can get to come to it, to see if they can get enough money to pay for it to be open. That isn't really a fix. I think we really need to see a permanent solution to Hames being open. That's my real goal. If I can see a permanent solution to Hames being open and for the library to be opened, I'd be really happy for the community. I would shout with joy. However, I don't see the campus itself as being active again for some time. It seems very unlikely, which is unfortunate, but it is realistic. Thank you.